there, I'm Joni Sabinski, and I'm a metaphysician, an intuitive counselor, psychic, numerologist, channel, and astrologer. And one of the topics I love to teach is numerology. And the reason I love to teach that is because it's so simple. You don't need books, all you need is 9 fingers. And if you can count from 1 to 9, you've got numerology. The only other thing you need to know for numerology is how to set up a chart and also what the numbers mean. Because without knowing what the numbers mean, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. So I have a kind of a quick trick I use to teach people the numbers. And then I also suggest that once they've learned the basics of numerology, and of course I can't teach numerology in 10 or 18 minutes, but I can give you the basics. And once you learn the basics, start doing the charts of every family member you know, every person you know, because you'll begin to associate the numbers with those people and it's easier to remember. But here's my little trick. I'm going to tell you a story that explains the numbers. So the concept is that when God decided to create man, he created Adam, which was one person, the number 1. The individual, independent person. That is the number 1. But Adam got lonely and he needed a partner. So God created Eve, which is the number 2. Partnerships of equality, working together, 2 people or the person looking at the bigger good within a partnership. And when they were together, they felt harmonious and they felt connected and they felt wonderful and they became very creative, and that's the number 3. It means peace and harmony, beauty, balance, luxury, and creativity. And they helped co-create Eden and lived happily in Eden, but they felt like they needed more stability. The garden was beautiful, but they wanted something that was their own. So they put together their security, their home, and that is the number 4. And along with the home, they needed a few things to create that balance and that security, and that's all the number 4. But you can't just have security and you can't just have beauty. You need to be having some fun. So God created the number 5 and allowed Adam and Eve to be children and laugh and play and enjoy themselves and feel very free. But life isn't about just freedom. Life is about responsibility. And it's about having families and being content with knowing where your responsibility lies, not only to your basic family, but to the whole family of man. And that's the number 6. But humanity has a craving for spirituality, to know who they are in the world and how they can benefit all that is. And that's the number 7. It's the deep knowing, the spiritual center. But it's wonderful to have all these things, but when more people come, then you need some laws and you need some structure and you need power and you need some control. And usually currency. So power and control and money is the purview of the number 8. And you see a lot of 8s in power positions. But throughout everything else, no matter what you have, there will always be endings. There cannot be beginnings without endings, and that's the number 9. So I put together a basic numerology chart for just the birth date. I could do the name as well, but that would be a little bit longer time than I think we have today. But I put together the birth date. Now remember that we must add up all the numbers until you get to a single digit. This is Jennifer Lawrence's birthday taken off the web, so I'm going to assume it's accurate. She is a Leo, born in August, on the 15th of August in 1990. Now, if you take the 8 and you add it to a 1 and you add it to a 5 and you add it to a 1 and you add it to a 9 and you add it to a 9 and you add it to the 0, you get the end result, which is a 33-6. Remember, you always keep adding till you get to the lowest digit. The easiest way to do it is just add as you go along. So 8 is singular here. If it was December, then there would be a 1 and a 2, and you'd have a 3 down here. Then you add the day together. So a 1 and a 5 is a 6. Then you add the year. The 1, 9, 9 becomes 19. 19 becomes a 10. And you add the 1 to the 0 and you get a 1. And then when you add across 19, 27, 33, you have a 33-6. Now the 33-6 is very important. It's known as the master number. It means that she is here to do something very specific in the world. When you see a master number, it is held to a higher octave of that number. So if the 6 means family responsibility, a normal 6, as long as they're working within their basic bio family, is working that number. But a 33-6 has to work in the family of man. And that's why Jennifer Lawrence is not only a fantastic actress, but she is also conscious of certain rights and has come out publicly about the discrimination of women in the media. Now, how many thousands of women came before Jennifer Lawrence that didn't do that? I would say that she was required to do it because of her 33-6, and the timing was right. I'm not saying there weren't other female celebrities that were 33-6, but I would bet that those celebrities worked on what worked for the family of man at their timing. This was the perfect time for Jennifer to be born to work her 33-6 to empower women. And I applaud her on that. But what makes this even more important is she is a double 6. A regular 15-6 and a 33-6 birth path. The day is very important because mostly we act the day. So she will be a kind, caring, family-oriented person. But the 33-6 says, and she has to take that out of her personal life into the bigger realm. When we have doubled numbers, tripled numbers, or quadrupled numbers once they're added, that means that this is the intent of the soul. This is an important lesson in this life that must be learned and lived. So Jennifer Lawrence has a deep desire to be more than just a personality. She wants to leave something positive behind. Now, as I said, this is a very basic numerology lesson based on the birth date. And you have to make sure you've got the accurate date. If you don't have the accurate date, it's only as accurate as the numbers you're working from. When you work on the name, it's really easy to remember what the name letters. Each letter corresponds to a number. It's very simple to figure out. A is a 1, B is a 2, C is a 3, D is a 4, E is a 5, F is a 6, G is a 7, H is an 8, I is a 9, and then you begin again. And you keep doing it until you're out of numbers, always repeating once you get to 9. Keeping in mind certain numbers are master numbers. And you never, ever forget that it's a master number. So you always write it at the end result as the master number it is, so that you know this is not just a 6, this is a 33-6, and more is required. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe next time I'll do the name.